Hey, what's good, everybody? This is Joshua Evo for discreteerror.me. It is now May 29th, and I have got some news that you probably all have heard if you've been following the game sphere. Turns out that Konami and Hideo Kojima have announced that they are working on a new Zone of the Enders project. Uh, it's preliminarily being called Project Enders, and uh, details are pretty sparse on it right now, but a little backstory. A couple of years ago, a little game came out called Zone of the Enders, which was the launch title on the PS2, and was pretty much, as I've said before, the robot game that everybody just kind of lumped in that came along with the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo. The game sold moderately well. I'm going to guess it's mostly because of that demo, but it kind of was overshadowed because a lot of people don't really remember it. A couple years later, a sequel came out, Zone of the Enders: The Second Runner, or Anubis in Japan, and it met some moderate success, nothing too big. Um, I personally, it's one of my favorite games I've ever played. Like, I love the game. The story is pretty much the same, kind of very anime centric, kind of convoluted mess that a lot of people kind of associate with Kojima's games. But they those Metal Gear games have a huge following. I mean, he's made God knows how many of them, and I've definitely just kind of caught by surprise because I kind of thought the series had completely gone by the wayside at this point. Again, reports are still really sparse. There's not a lot of detail out there right now. It's only been maybe 3 or 4 days since anything was announced. There have been a couple of sites that have some stuff that have been listed, which I'll get to. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw some backstory at you guys because again, this is one of those games that just kind of it blew me away. I mean, I love Met combat games anyway, and this one is just kind of something that I've been waiting for a while. And I mean, there are whole sites that are kind of dedicated to people who are following Zone of the Enders news. There's like it's got an anime series behind it. It's got a anime movie behind it. Just the whole game is just one big. It's a mythology on its own, just like most of Kojima's properties are. Um, and aside from Metal Gear games, it's pretty much one of the biggest projects that people have been wanting to see. And recently, it was announced that in Japan and possibly in the U.S., there's going to be the ZOE Remastered HD collection that is coming out for PS3 and Xbox 360. It's definitely coming out in Japan, I think in October, and I mean if the GameStops around here are to be trusted, it's due out here in September of this year. We'll kind of see how that goes. Since I mean the Metal Gear Solid HD collection sold really well from what I hear from my friends who work at that GameStop. I mean I don't have any actual figures in front of me, but there's a couple of things that I do know about the Enders project that have been announced. One of the things is that apparently it's going to be run on Kojima's newly designed game engine that they're calling the Fox engine, which is supposed to just be hyper realistic and just kind of just beautifully rendered models and stuff. And I guess they're going for a more realistic look. I kind of like the anime mech look, but it's also intended for next gen platforms. And by next gen, I mean next gen from now. But let's get to some news stories. And here's the original post on GameSpot from the 25th of this month where they broke the story, or at least where I first saw it. Here's the article where they talk about how the game will look radically different, but it's going to play pretty much just like the old ZOE, and it's going to be a true sequel to the first game. Here's Kojima's Twitter, where he basically confirms that. It's kind of a bad translation, but that's pretty much what I had at this point. And here's some of the pictures from the event, one of the mock-ups, and here's a concept art of what I can only believe is the new Jehudi, which, from what I can understand, they're going to use Fox Engine to render it out to this awesome-looking beast right here. So we'll kind of see how that goes. And as you know, there's been a lot of buzz building because the fandom has been so quiet lately. With the announcement of, again, this is the trailer for the HD collection that you're watching right now. I believe this is for the Vita release of it. I mean, from what I understand, it's coming out on PS3 360. I personally am, again, really hyped for it. Coming 2012. But, so we're going to follow this pretty closely, just especially me personally, because I have just such this crazy love affair with these Zone of the Enders games. and we'll kind of see what happens because I definitely want to see what this new engine is going to contribute to the game, and how it's going to be handled, and how it's going to tie into the first game, the first and second games, because the second runner had to me had a great story, awesome characters, that kind of stuff. So I kind of want to see what the Fox engine is capable of. There are screenshots of Fox engine renders, all like on the Metal Gear wiki, and you guys can definitely follow Kojima's Twitter to check out some more stuff. Go ahead and look up hashtag, I believe it's hashtag Project Enders or Enders Project, just to just kind of catch up on the old news. But I mean, I'm just watching this old footage from back when, and it's getting me really, really excited for this game. So I'm gonna follow it definitely as it progresses. But if you guys are hyped for this news on the Enders news and whatever has to bring it for us, just leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that kind of crazy stuff. Let us know what you think in the comments. And as usual, if you want more reviews, gaming news, musings, and just to hear back from us, you can find us at discreetera.me. And again, thanks for watching. Take it easy.